around the research part that you talk about in one of your slides. So the academic community has active R&D in genome editing. Please share your thoughts how the academic community can help in a way that its research in genome editing will bear fruit and be used by farmers and consumers.
Yeah, I think what is the most important thing is that different countries are using different models. So I think tomorrow it's a good example from Dr. Azura. Then the breeding and the basic research started at the university level, and in Japanese this model has worked very well. That basically creating a spin-off company which is focusing on the development and putting some private investment in it can yield the product. So I think there is no one size fit all kind of solution. Different countries have a different ways to work together with the private sector. So I think through a private and public partnership, this research which put into this area by the public institute can yield a really good product. So I think there are, what we see again, it's going back to the diversity. So many new startup companies are coming out either from this incubator of the public research area. So it depends on the products and depends on the countries, but there are multiple ways of cooperating, either just solely by the public sector or having this kind of bridges between the private and the public sector as well.
Thank you very much. Here's another question, and because of time constraint, this will be our last question. This is from Dr. Nipon Ayom Supasit from Thailand. What is your opinion on SDN2 gene editing? Should be regulated as GM crops or should not be regulated?
I think easy for me to answer this question, because as ISF, as the international seed sector, has basically adopted a position which established 3 key areas where we think a product shouldn't be regulated as a GM. So we believe, because since this is something which still works in the gene pool, in the own gene pool of the plant, and it doesn't introduce a whole genetic construct with promoter, terminator, and structural gene, but making another few, but maybe even a few hundred base pair changes, but it doesn't means the same if you introduce a transgene with all of the regulatory elements of the gene. So as our view on it, an SDN2 type of genome edited products shouldn't be considered as GMOs, and in many countries this is today the case.
Thank you. I will make an exception to my rule. Sorry. Just one more question. This is from Maricel Adelantar. The question is genome editing feasible to local farmers? Is that possible that rural farmers could avail the privilege of having these types of biotech products?
I think this is a good question, and that's why I really said that this application, these methods could be used in, for instance, underutilized crops, but also to improve local varieties. We know that in local farmers, they are really much want to use those locally adapted varieties, which is they have the tradition to use with the attached to it. The good thing is with genome editing that you can improve these local varieties just by adding a new resistance, and just by making it more tolerant to heat or drought, without basically touching all the other characteristics of of the crop, what the farmers locally like and they're looking for. So, and also because of the relatively cheap nature of the technology. So and if this will be the same and won't be like a very big regulatory burden on this, I think this is the perfect example, the potential these technologies can bring to underutilized crops, and also varieties, local varieties, which can be improved that way.
Okay, so Maricel, if the public policy is just right, then the answer is yes. We will have farmers will have access to that. I understand, Sabi, you prepared a poll question. So let's have this interaction with our participants. We're going to show you a poll question prepared by Sabi, and please try to answer that these poll questions, and we listen to what our participants are thinking. We have 232 of them. So Bowie, our technical manager, could you show the poll questions? There are two, okay? Do you agree that plants develop using genome editing with changes that could have been obtained by traditional breeding or found in nature shouldn't be regulated as GMOs? That's the number one. You choose only one answer. The second question, currently there's no international regulatory framework for genome editing. Do you agree that value chain stakeholders and their organization, academia, breeders, farmers, traders, have a role in advocating policy alignment among countries? And here's the last question. Who do you think will be the biggest beneficiaries of product developed by the latest breeding methods? Okay, so let's have, okay, so if everyone, question one, question three, I cannot see. So who are the biggest beneficiaries here? Okay, all right, so I forgot my alarm, so it must be 1 more minute. Okay.
I just recognize that panelists cannot vote. I don't know whether I agree with this or not.
Okay, so here are let me see, 1 more minute. Let's give 1 minute because there are three questions. All right. I'm sorry, I'm rolling it. So the third question, who do you think will be the biggest beneficiaries of product? So you have 4 of that. Okay, and then there's, I go back to 1. Okay. All right, so let's see. It doesn't have to be all perfectly answered. So Bowie, are we ready to show the results of this mini survey? What are our participants thinking? Okay, so I'll count 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oops. Okay. Let me see if we can show. Thank you so much, Sabi, for taking the time. It's what time is it in the morning there in
It's not
Switzerland?
too bad. It's almost 9 a.m. So
Okay. So you have to wake up early. All right. Okay. So in terms of, this is very education informative. Sabi, do you agree that plants develop using genome editing with changes that could have been obtained by traditional breeding or found in nature shouldn't be regulated as GMO? So 39% agree, but is closely followed by strongly agree. So if we put that together, it's more than 50%, that's 69%. On question number 2, Sabi, currently there's no international regulatory framework for genome editing. Do you agree that value chain stakeholders and their organization, academia, breeders, have a role in advocating policy? So everyone, majority agree, Sabi. Very nice. And the last question, who do you think will be the biggest beneficiaries of product developed by the latest breeding methods? Farmers. On everybody, just put a here, 30. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone, all participants. Thank you so much.